I want to thank you personally from myself and from Revival Way Ministries for the impact that you've had on our life and this ministry and how God is using us to reach generations. Shuttlesworth and the whole Revival Today team. I want to thank you personally from myself and from Revival Way Ministries for the impact that you've had on our life and this ministry and how God is using us to reach Generation Z. We've been blessed and graced to go into middle schools, into high schools, into colleges, to do outdoor crusades in parks, and to even host big events with other supernatural relationships, to see many people brought into the kingdom of God. I believe because we've sat under your anointing and under Revival Today Ministries that we've received great impartation, and we're eternally grateful for it. The impact that you've had on our life has actually helped us to reach over 200 million people on different social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, we've reached people on it because of being able to sit under the impartation of Brother Jonathan and Sister Adalis. So we're eternally grateful for you. I believe this is just the beginning, that God has taken us up higher, and I believe God has put us on the earth for a specific time to reach this generation with the fire of revival. So thank you again for the impact that you've had on my life personally and the impact that you've had on this ministry. We genuinely could not do it without you. Thank you again, and we love you from Revival Way Ministry.
Hello everybody, I've got some exciting news. We are in the process of launching a faith-based credit union, and so we'd like to welcome you to fill out a survey that is going to be used in the application process. You can go to revivaltoday.com/credit union and fill that out. And thanks ahead of time for filling it out and being a part of this great journey in the world of finance.
This is Jonathan Shuttlesworth. The prayer that Jesus left us with was to pray for laborers to go out into the harvest field. If there's one thing this last school shooting showed us, if there was ever a time that America needed a new generation of workers in the harvest field, it's now. That's why we're raising up those ministers and workers at Revival Today Bible Institute. Our inaugural class is this September. If you've been moved recently in your spirit that I want to do something to affect my generation for eternity, this is the place to come and get trained. We start this September. You can apply today at revivaltodaybibleInstitute.com. I want you to join this army that God's raising up. The devil's not going to write the last chapter of your generation. You and many others are going to get raised up in the power of the Holy Spirit, go forth with the Word of God, and take one more run with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Will you join us? Apply today, revivaltodaybibleInstitute.com, and I'll see you this fall.
Guess who's back?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market. How's everybody doing? Wayne, welcome. Mindy, Ninja in the house. Jay Shri, good morning. Michael, crypto is cruising. Yes, because Kramer said on July 6th that crypto was going to tank. Yeah, thanks, Kramer. You really have to do the opposite. I do have some news about Kramer today.
Ooh.
So I just sent
really?
a tweet in. So hang on to your seats, everybody. Buckle in. Because it could get bumpy.
Great.
Tori, Shelly, Nancy, welcome, everybody. Had to skip out yesterday. because I'm living the single dad life right now. So
Yeah.
well, not really. I do have Bethany's mom helping me, so I don't want.
Right.
But still,
But still.
single
a
dad
struggle.
life. So made it this morning.
Yes, Linda, there will be CTN. I miss you guys too. Just when church goes to 10 o'clock at night, you need to have time.
Matthew from San Antonio. Everybody's happy to see you, Matan.
Who isn't happy to see me though? Don't answer that.
That depends what it's about.
yeah, it's true.
D&D Investments, welcome. Make sure you share the broadcast. Melissa from Houston. We got a bunch of Texas in the house. Nice. Jolene, good morning to you. Good morning or GM, as in General Motors.
General Motors.
All right, let's get into it. What do you have for us, Matan? Whoa, it just got dark.
Got super dark.
Maybe just on the TV.
All right,
what do you have
let's
for
check
us?
it out. Reported to White House economic advisor, when the gas prices go up, it's got nothing to do with the president. When we see some decline, you want him to get the credit. Go for it.
Because when the gas prices go up, it's got nothing to do with the president. When we see some decline, you want him to get the credit.
Look, I think that there's no both way
like
thinking
Trudeau
here at all.
answer.
I think that there has been a consistent, I think, pressure on this White House to try to do everything it could to ameliorate inflationary pressures, and the president has reacted from the beginning, talking about how this was such an important priority to alleviate these pressures on behalf of the American people. So what did he do? He put his head down and got to work and got us to work to do everything we could to achieve that goal. He then presided over the largest historical release of barrels of oil from the strategic reserve, 180 million barrels. Then he talked to global partners to get them to kick in another 60 million. So he...
It was Putin's fault. When they're coming down, he gets the credit.
Yeah, I very much disagree with that framing. I think what's happening here is a president who is working tirelessly to address the largest constraint, probably the toughest constraint facing American households right now.
So I thought it's funny because he's like, oh yeah, they released, President Biden released the strategic oil reserves, and it's like, dude, you have to fill it up again, and like everything's going to cost the American people.
Yes.
All the blunders that they're doing right now, it's still going to cost American people.
It's smart to release the strategic reserve when gas prices are high because you're selling it. It's not like they're giving it away to gas stations.
No.
Yeah.
Just dumb. Next. Southwest flight attendant fired because she's pro-life. She has now won a $5.1 million lawsuit. Go for it. Pro-life Christian who was fired from Southwest Airlines for expressing her views won a $5.1 million last week in a lawsuit against her former employer and workers union. Breitbart reports Charlene Carter of Texas accused the Transportation Workers Union of America, Local 556, and Southwest Airlines of firing her in 2017 because she spoke out against the union spending members' dues on pro-abortion activities. Today is a victory for freedom of speech and religious beliefs, Carter told Fox Business on Friday. I am so humbled and thankful for today's decision and for everyone who supported me these past 5 years, including the National Right to Work Foundation. CBN News reports a federal district court in Dallas awarded the $5.1 million to Carter on Thursday, requiring $4.15 million from Southwest and $950,000 from the union. Of course, Southwest says it's going to appeal the decision, but nonetheless, another victory. It won't. This won't go any farther than it has. But I was happy to see.
The company said it believes employees should be allowed to express their opinion when it's done in a respectful manner. Okay.
Yeah, so no tweeting.
That's not respectful.
No Facebook posts. Go to HR. That's about it.
That's the problem with a lot of these companies, though, is their HR department.
HR is horrendous. And it's predominantly run by women.
If you talk to the executives of Southwest,
yeah, they'll be like,
I don't think they would care. Honestly, a lot of them. It's mainly HR.
Yes, they're brutal.
Take back HR. Hashtag take back HR.
Yeah, I agree. you know, it's like I could say something. Soured older women.
Yes.
Who are single.
Yes.
Who feel that they have a lot of authority when they run those
100%.
departments.
It's the same people that run the DMV. It's the DMV in like in private companies or in the private sector.
Yeah.
HR.
That's
yes.
great. That's great. Next. Just go for it. We're listening to Kramer, folks. Roll it.
Joe, we're just not seeing recession. We're seeing what we need to see, which is a legitimate slowdown. I think ultimately a slowdown in inflation. And I celebrate this. I don't root for a recession like so many people. They look at the yield curve and they say, we're going to have a big recession. I think you and I both know that the stocks reflect a lot of negativity and not a lot of positives.
That was it?
Old Jimmy.
Oh, gosh. I just threw that in there because anything he says I like to watch nowadays. Anything. Next.
Just to do the opposite.
Yes, exactly. Breaking the last abortion business in Mississippi, the Jackson Women's Health Organization has been sold and will close permanently. Mississippi is abortion free. So for anybody who recognizes that Jackson Women's Health Organization, they are the ones who challenged the Mississippi abortion ban law and took it all the way to SCOTUS. Mm-hmm. And that was part of the tipping point in Roe being taken down. But now that Roe's gone, they're coincidentally also gone. Happy to see it. Next. Incredible 25. We're going to skip it today. Next. Justin Met Office provisionally records 39.1 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature ever recorded in the UK. So now you don't
Seriously?
So you don't just have all of these different media organizations, outlets reporting and hyping up like, oh my gosh, it's the hottest summer ever. But now you're also having different institutions coming out and saying that we need to crack down hard on climate change and using these temperatures as justification. But this was just one of many that I saw. But I thought, like, it's funny because where do all the people in the UK go for summer in the summertime? They
Morocco, Algeria.
Like extremely
Kenya.
Hot places, and they're freaking out when they're getting like those temperatures over in their homeland.
Now you don't have to
Come
go
on,
anywhere.
People. Don't
Just
go
go
anywhere.
to the beach. Jump into the North Sea. It's cold. You're right there.
Exactly. Yeah, so don't be surprised. Next. So everyone's panicking about 37 degrees for 2 days in the UK. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they took 3 experimental jabs to enjoy 40 degrees in Greece for 2 weeks.
Greece. Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, there
Turkey.
you go. Turkey.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's where they go.
That's where they all go. Next. Out of Canada, Alberta Health Services is rescinding its immunization for workers for COVID-19 policy effective July 18, meaning AHS healthcare workers will no longer be required to be immunized for COVID-19 as a condition of employment. This includes new hires and students. So this should never have been in there in the first place, but there's now talks about back pay being restored and any kind of benefits, the restoration of benefits from the past when these people had been terminated. So I think it's funny also because Trudeau announced that he was going to be bringing in hundreds of thousands, if not like close to 1 million different healthcare workers to scatter throughout all the provinces of Canada. And so the provinces go, oh, we don't want that. That's going to hurt our economy. So we're going to try and use up our own people. So now they're coming out with all these policies yet again. So it's kind of like Alberta is the so-called conservative province of Canada, kind of like the Texas of America. And so I just thought it was kind of like, oh, we're going to shove it back at Trudeau.
No, that's good.
They're taking
Who's
a good
the premier of Alberta?
Jason Kenney for now, but he's stepping down. Yeah. Next. Mizzo, AHS is Alberta Health Services. U.S. Capitol update. We made a total of 34 arrests for crowding, obstructing, or incommoding. DC code, blah, blah, blah. That arrest number includes 16 members of Congress.
Do you have that video? Are we going to play it?
I thought I might have sent it in. Did I send in the video? So there was video of AOC. Do we have that one? No.
Can you get the video of AOC?
Yeah. AOC, Ilhan Omar. I'm trying to remember the rest.
It should be on Twitter. Just type in AOC.
Literally, it'll pop up. It's very, very funny. But this was all for a pro-abortion protest that members of Congress were involved in. But it was really funny. Dang, I should have sent in that video. But they had one male member of Congress, just total soy boy, and he's walking with all these women. He's like, abortion rights for all. And it's just like, it was very funny. Jeez. It's very funny. I laughed the whole time. Yes, Mindy, yes, it was Presley. Presley was there as well.
That's true, Michael.
That's true, Michael. Yeah, there you go.
That's the one I first saw. Like when it popped, I was like AOC arrested, and so I was like, man, they put her in cuffs.
Nope. Same with Ilhan. There's no cuffs there. And then she also, it was funny, when that one cop on her right moved over to her left, she ended up raising her right hand and was like waving at everybody. Then she put her hands back behind her back. Oh, there we go. Oh, there you go. Got the good old call me fist up in the air. Stupid woman. Oh my gosh. We need like some nice thematic music put to behind that one. Next. Michael. Now, White House. No announcement on national climate emergency this week, but everything is on the table. Go for it.
But I would not plan a announcement this week on national climate emergency. Again, everything is on the table. It's just not going to be this week on that decision.
So the White House had previously said they're going to come out with an announcement on everything to do with the climate. Basically, they're just going to come out and say like there's a climate alarm and
yes.
the bell is ringing and we need to answer it. So you're probably going to touch on that one.
Well, if you read AP or Reuters or any of those other news
Yes.
agencies, there's been a climate emergency for
since the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, it's coming to a head now.
I just saw an article in a publication that was tweeted. It was from the 70s. It was like a magazine cover. And it said that England was going to be covered in a kilometer of ice over the next like decade or something like that.
Never happened.
Still out there. Good old-fashioned market open there. I love seeing that 1980s style Wall Street.
You would have fit right in.
Now it's just computers. All right, markets are open and we're fairly flat. Dow Jones down 30, S&P down 4, and the Nasdaq is up 4. So not too bad there. Oil is at $99 a barrel. Gold is up slightly today. Let's take a look at cryptocurrencies as well. Past 24 hours, we're up 4.73%. Bitcoin's at 23,888.
Wow.
Ethereum is at 1,600. BNB 269. XRP's at 37 cents. Cardano 53 cents. Solana 45. Dogecoin 7.4 cents, up 8.69%. Shiba Inu's up 7.26%. Let's see what else we got. Stellar 0.12. Avalanche $25.58, up 2% today, or over the last 24 hours, not today, I guess. All right, next, let's see what else we got going on. EU to soften sanction on Russian banks to allow food trade. Well, I knew this was going to happen. Eventually, they're going to have to soften their sanctions because when you don't have any sunflower oil and you don't have any wheat in Europe, then let's see it. The European Union will amend its sanctions on Moscow on Wednesday by allowing the unfreezing of some funds to top Russian banks that may be required to ease bottlenecks in the global trade of food and fertilizers, a draft document showed. The move comes amid criticism from African leaders about the negative impact of the sanctions on the trade, which may have exacerbated shortages chiefly caused by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its blockading ports in the Black Sea. Which I also heard that Russia, Turkey, and one other country have come up with a framework for easing like the blockade of the ports so that they can get food and grain and stuff like that out. It's because the Ukraine apparently has a good amount of grain supply.
Yes.
So their grain silos are full. It's just the logistics of getting it out of the country.
Right.
Under the changed regulation, which is expected to be adopted by EU envoys on Wednesday, EU nations will be able to unfreeze previously blocked economic resources owned by top Russian lenders, VTB, Sovcombank, Novicombank, whichever one that one is, VEB, Promsvyazbank, and Bank Russia. The document said, separately under new sanctions to be adopted on Wednesday, Sberbank, Russia's largest bank, will also become subject to the freezing of its assets, with the exception of resources needed for food trade, an EU official told Reuters. Continue. The draft document said money could be released after having determined that such funds or economic resources are necessary for purchase, import, or transport of agricultural and food products, including wheat and fertilizers. So there you have it. I knew that they were going to have to soften the sanctions on that.
They had to at some point. The governments don't want the blowback coming on them.
Yeah, because it probably has something to do with, I haven't looked at it, but it probably has something to do with foreign currency. Mm-hmm. Because if African nations can't purchase US dollars or euros or pounds or whatever else, and then go to Russia and purchase food with that money, then, because a lot of North African nations, the majority of their grain, or from reports that I've read, came from Russia and the Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So that's where a lot of their grain came from. But in like a case like Ethiopia, the prime minister of Ethiopia, what he did is he issued like a demand for all the farmers to plant as much wheat as possible. So Ethiopia's wheat supply, I don't know what it looks like now, but hasn't been affected.
Right.
When I was there last, I thought that was pretty smart of him to. As soon as that happened, he was like, grow as much as you can.
Dang.
So
Good
that we can have our own our own agricultural safety.
It's awesome.
All right, next. Jim Cramer, September 476. I'm bullish.
No.
476 AD in September is when Rome fell to the barbarians. Or the Germans, if you'd like to call them that. He would be, though. Next. Toys R Us looking to make brick and mortar retail comeback in time for the holidays. Great news.
It is great news. I was happy about this.
The iconic toy retailer is bringing in-store shops to Macy's from late July to mid-October. Let's see it. Toys R Us is gearing up to make a brick and mortar retail comeback this holiday season. The iconic toy seller will open new locations inside Macy's department stores from late July through October 15th. The in-store shops will range from 1,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet in flagship locations. So that's good news. Trips to Toys R Us. Evangelist Jonathan was talking about that last night.
Yeah, he
how
was.
He'd like to take Camila there. It is true. It is great to take your kid to Toys R Us. And I like to go there too. Take a look at all the toys.
Let's just be honest.
Next. We go to the next one. Chipotle closes first of its stores to vote for union. This is from Zero Hedge. In In what's being decried as union busting 101, Chipotle Mexican Grill, they're not the only ones. All these companies, they pretend to be woke.
Yeah.
But then when it comes down to their stores unionizing, they're not so woke anymore. Chipotle Mexican Grill just permanently closed the first of its stores nationwide where employees voted to pursue unionization. At 7:39 on Tuesday at Chipotle Northeast, People Experience Partner emailed employees' HR representative to notify them that Chipotle was pulling the plug on their store in Stephen King Drive in Augusta, Maine. The closure comes just 4 weeks after employees petitioned the National Labor Relations Board to arrange a unionization election on July 11th. Delta Township, Michigan Chipotle became the second location in the country to make that move. As we reported last week, union organizing across the country has surged to a 6-year high. I wonder why. With Starbucks as a notable target. A lot of these companies, it's because that's what the White House is pushing.
Yeah.
Unions. It's always just about the unions.
Yep. Don't become Canada in that regard.
Yeah, or Germany.
Or Germany, yeah.
Which the union there is just, yeah. Continue. In what's being continue with the article. For lack of workers, the store has been closed to the public since June 17th, but the company kept it open for training and continued paying Augusta employees while not actually serving customers.
What?
So not only were they paying them, right?
So dumb.
But now they decided they want to unionize. Now laid off workers will receive pay for scheduled shifts this week, plus 4 weeks of severance based on the hours worked in the last 2 weeks. In a statement, Chipotle's Chief Corporate Affairs Officer, Lori Shallow, said the chain had gone to extraordinary lengths, it is true, to staff the Augusta location, to include assigning 2 recruiting experts to support the store. Despite these efforts, we've been unable to adequately staff this remote restaurant with crew and continue to be plagued with excessive call-outs and lack of availability from existing staff, which is why they want to unionize. We've had an even more difficult time finding managers to lead the restaurant. I wouldn't want to lead people that don't show up for work either. Because of these ongoing staffing challenges, there's no profitability of reopening in the foreseeable future, so we've made the decision to permanently close the restaurant.
Dang.
Workers are planning a Tuesday evening rally to demand the store be reopened. Have fun. John said, yes. You know what? I am going to say that sometimes they do good when the company is legitimately taking advantage of his employees.
Yes, but that's like the old, like when unions
Yes.
were first established.
But right now
that's
it is
rare.
basically legalized, organized crime
It is. Yes.
and political agenda.
Yes.
You know, if you don't do this, then like with that Southwest Airlines flight
Yeah.
attendant.
It's terrible, and it's not just with corporations. It's in the schools too.
Yes.
Like it's they're
Especially-
everywhere.
Especially in the schools. Next article. Senate advances more than $50 billion bill to boost U.S. semiconductor production. So this has been a year in the making. They finally got it to a slimmed down version. Let's see it. The Senate voted to advance a slimmed down version of its bill designed to boost U.S. semiconductor competition with China. The bill cleared a key procedural hurdle Tuesday evening in a 64-34 vote, even as lawmakers worked to finish various sections of the legislation. The bill, which would provide about $50 billion in subsidies to bolster U.S. computer chip manufacturing, is a multifaceted bipartisan effort that combines the interest of several committees ranging from national security to economics. The Senate procedural step forward on Tuesday paves the way for the chamber to hold a vote on final passage later this week or early next week. The bill would then travel to the House for passage before it would head to President Joe Biden's desk for signature into law. Continue. The broadest aim of the legislation is to incentivize semiconductor production within the U.S. to decrease dependence on Asia-based manufacturers. However, Nancy Pelosi just said that she's traveling to Taiwan. So I wonder if that's going to have something to do with it. But TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation, should be building a plant in the U.S.
Absolutely.
due to the passage of this. I think they were one of the people that signed on to it. Intel's going to. There was a couple others that'll be building chip manufacturing in the United States. Which, how that wasn't here before is just
That's crazy.
like mind-blowing. Because that is an issue of national security.
It is, yes, very much so.
Missiles, tanks, jets,
Everything.
everything. Modern ships, modern submarines, they all need semiconductors.
I would like to know if under Trump, if his administration had been courting companies to come and establish here in America.
Yeah.
Because like everything else, he was bringing everything else back.
Yeah.
But I don't remember reading headlines, and maybe I just missed them about this.
Nancy's NVIDIA, yeah. Logan, any semiconductor. I like TSMC, the Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing. NVIDIA, Intel. Intel, not so much. AMD, I would say AMD. Texas Instruments. I've been looking at that, at getting into Texas Instruments.
Ah, so it did start under Trump.
It did, yes, it did.
All right.
Next. We can go to the next one. Next article. Bethany. I appreciate that, Bethany. Way to be a fan.
Be honest, that just made your whole day.
It did make my whole day. What a great supporting wife. I love you, Bethany. Next. Putin says Nordstream to restart, but flows may decrease. So this was one of the reasons why the market was cranking yesterday, I guess what they were saying. European stocks were up because of it. So the Nordstream, this is the Nordstream 1, not Nordstream 2. Nordstream 1 pipeline. So they cut down the flow due to maintenance. Sure. And they are going to restart. But I think that there's going to be some more sanctions softening coming out of the European Union. And the more sanctions get softened, the more
things go back to normal.
Exactly. The more gas will flow from Russia. Next. Russian President Vladimir Putin indicated that Moscow would restart the Nord Stream natural gas pipeline to Europe on Thursday, but warned that flows could be curbed soon after if sanctions prevent additional maintenance on its components. Nord Stream, the main artery for Russian gas to Europe, is currently down due to regular maintenance, and European governments are worried the Kremlin won't restore its flow when the work ends Thursday. A prolonged outage could prompt governments to ration energy, hurting industry and hitting already fragile economic growth. In late Tuesday comments during his visit to Tehran, Putin said that Gazprom has always fulfilled and will fulfill all of its obligations. But the Russian president added that unless turbines come back soon, flows may fall next week to some 20% of capacity. Putin said that another turbine had to go for maintenance on July 26th. Next.
Today.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true. The peer pressure sometimes to buy a stock is like incredible.
It's intense.
Next. Buying stocks now could bring you pain over the next few weeks, but you'll be thanking yourself a year from now, these analysts say. Will we? Let's see it. How bad is the mood out there right now? Try max bearish. So said Bank of America latest fund manager survey on Tuesday that showed expectations for profits and growth at recessionary levels. Yet Wall Street rallied and more gains ahead for Wednesday, partly on earnings optimism, but also as some see all this gloom as a contrarian buying signal. After all, what if peak inflation and peak rate increases are just around the corner? What if? That's the story of the market. Next. It isn't unimaginable that investors are overwhelmed right now as they try to gauge whether central banks will tip economies into recession in a battle to control inflation. That's not to mention the potential spillover from an economic downturn into corporate earnings. Our call of the day from Bernstein's analysts Mark Diver and Sarah McCartney says investors are facing a short-term pain for a long-term gain moment for stocks. Our longer horizon equity market sentiment indicators are providing significant sentiment support and point to strong positive global equity market returns over the next 12 months. Conversely, our shorter term sentiment indicator, which is effective over a 4-week period, is only at neutral levels. The divergence between those two suggests strong returns are possible for investors from current levels over a period of a year or more, but further downside in the short term before a tactical capitulation level is reached. So a lot of people are saying that we've already reached capitulation, that stocks are going to go up from here. But the problem with that is Jim Cramer tweeted yesterday. Let's see it. Let's see one of his tweets. Jim Cramer's tweet. I sent it in. It should be one of the last things I sent in. No, Jim Cramer's tweet. Yes. Nope, that one. Yes. Oof. There we go. Charts suggest Tuesday's rally could just be at the beginning, Jim Cramer says. So we know it's at the end. And
Oh my gosh.
let's see where markets are
Oh,
at. Actually, not that bad. Dow Jones is down. The Nasdaq's up though, 64 points. So tech is recovering a little bit there. Which there could be some buying opportunity in tech stocks because a lot of them have been hammered hard. And so there you have it. I got some stocks to research. Do I have any other interesting articles that I sent in? Let me see the headlines. Everyone talking about their stocks today? Yes. Chip making machines draw record orders for Dutch tech firm. So that's ASML. I've had that company on here before. I bought this company when it was way up. And I sold it. Yeah, but I'm looking for another buying opportunity for ASML because they have a huge number of orders, but they say that's, it's not as good as it should be or whatever, but I think that it's still a great company because they're one of the only companies in the world that manufactures chip making machines, basically,
Right.
the like high level ones. Let's see that Ample website. So somebody brought this up last week. Ample interchangeable car batteries. So it's kind of like what NIO is doing in China.
Yep.
With the batteries as a service, BAAS. So this is Ample. It's not a publicly traded company. Can you scroll down? See if see how it does. It's modular battery swapping. So what it does is instead of you having to plug in an electric vehicle, what it does is you drive into this like shed looking thing and it swaps out the battery. Keep scrolling. Go to how it works up at the top. There we go. Now scroll down. So you see you drive into that shed right there, drink some lemonade. And what it does is it just basically swaps out the battery of your electric vehicle. And I guess they can deploy a whole city in weeks. We'll see about that though. Electric vehicle companies and electric companies like this, electric vehicle companies that are, providing the infrastructure, always promise a lot. Then when it comes down to delivery, not so much. So take a look at Ample. It's not publicly traded yet. But this could potentially be something, that everybody's talking about. There's not enough chargers. There's not enough this. This is a solution for the electric vehicle, thing with which they're going to keep pushing. All right. I also had some stocks that I researched. I was asked to take a look at some gold mining companies. So here's some of the biggest ones. Some of the smaller ones, I'm still researching because a lot of them are still like in exploration phase. They don't really know if they're gonna get any, it's always like up in the air. I don't like that. But one of the biggest ones is GOLD, Barrick Gold Corporation, FNV, Franco-Nevada Corporation, Wheaton Precious Metals, WPM, and NEM Newmont Corporation. I think Newmont does like 550,000 ounces a year or something like that. So that's a huge amount of gold. A lot of the smaller gold mining companies do, 1,000 ounces, 2,000 ounces, 3,000 ounces. So 550 ounces, 1,000 ounces, that's a lot of gold. And I guess they can run all the way through 2030. So the problem right now with gold and gold mining companies, it's always good to have some gold in your portfolio. Have some commodities. But with the current environment where the Fed is taking action to reduce inflation by raising interest rates, historically has put pressure on the price of gold. So we might see, if they can get this under control, we might see some decrease in the price of gold. So WPM, NEM, FNV, and GOLD. Take a look at those if you're interested in some gold mining companies. Barrick Gold, Franco-Nevada Corporation, which is diversified and also produces silver and they also have other mining operations. Wheaton Precious Metals, Newmont Corporation. There's a lot of other ones that are overseas, some South African mines, some that are in Ghana, Uganda, South Africa, places like that. I didn't look at those. This is mainly just North America that I took a look at here. Then also ZNOG, Zion Oil and Gas. I took a look at that one again. Stock is doing pretty well. I last researched it back in October of last year. And it had some pretty nice spikes in price since then. It's still trading way under $1. And they are still in the exploration phase. So my view on it hasn't 100% changed yet. But they did apply for another license to drill in Israel. So they're going to have 2 licenses to drill on 66,000 acres of land in Megiddo, is where they're looking for oil onshore in Israel. Yes.
Wow.
So we'll see what happens there with that. We'll keep an eye on it for sure. And then Pilot and GM are in a partnership. That's another thing for my notes from last week. They did announce a partnership. I think I have an article for that. Can you pull it up real quick? Do you have the article for Pilot and GM? General Motors will build a network of EV fast chargers at Pilot travel centers along U.S. highways. So that's, how many of them? Do you have the article? 2,000 fast chargers at 500 of Pilot's locations along the American highways at intervals of approximately 50 miles. The partners expect to have a significant portion of those chargers installed and operating by the end of 2023. So that's that is true. So GM is building a network with EVgo, Pilot, and Flying J. All right. So that was it for today. I got some more stocks to research for tomorrow, so I'll let you know about those. If there's any that you'd like me to research, let us know. If you'd like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that now. Here are the ways that you can do that. RevivalToday.com/give has all the options. Then we have hashtag donate, text to give, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Cryptocurrencies, if you scan that QR code. Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania 15329. I'm going to give away F.A. Hayek's book, The Road to Serfdom. If you can look that up. I'm going to do that as a giveaway. I think that should be on everybody's reading list. It's about economics, basically Austrian economics. So if you're interested in that, I still think that everybody should read it. So it's called The Road to Serfdom by F.A. Hayek. So we'll send that to everybody who, as a thank you. Oh, it has an introduction from Milton Friedman. I don't have that one. So yeah, we'll send that as a thank you for investing with us today, investing in Revival today, everything that we do here. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. And yeah, go out there and make some money today. Any last thoughts?
No, you wrapped it up pretty well.
All right, good. We'll see you.
See ya.